Moon Knight is one of those characters you probably hear more about than you actually read or saw. He's been around since the 70s. He's had multiple runs, both short and long, and he has a pretty iconic costume that actually is still mostly used. There's some fixing up here and there, but for the most part, he still has the very signature all white look to him that makes him actually stand out from most of the heroes around. So, you're watching this video because you're like, well, I want to get to know the guy. He seems like a nice guy. He's got a TV show coming now, and why not, right? Well, there's a few answers I can give you of where to start reading Moon Knight, but I'm going to steer you into the direction of where I think is a good pickup point. Now, it's been a while since I did one of these, so if you don't know how they go, here's a small refresher. I like to talk about runs first. That means usually anywhere from 6 to beyond issues, usually a bit longer, though they don't have to be like 50 issues long, but they are considered runs. And then I like to talk about standalone series, which sometimes are just written as one huge issue, or they're usually about 4 to 6 issues, and you can read them by themselves. So, without further ado, let's get into runs first for Moon Knight. Now, Doug and Bill's 80s Moon Knight is pretty cool. It's like really building up Moon Knight to be this major superhero in the 80s. It ran nearly 30 issues, or actually more than 30, and this is kind of the origin story for him. Plus, it gives him his first major nemesis. Do you know who Moon Knight's nemesis is? It's the Bushman. Yeah, you heard that right. Anyway, it's cool to read this since it feels more traditional superhero-ish before we get into more of the heavy storylines and themes about like multiple personalities and things like that in the later runs. This is more of traditional superhero fun. The other run that I really suggest as a great picking up point is Jeff Lemire and Greg Smallwood's run, which only ran about 14 issues, but man, oh man, is it a defining run. Now, this is almost the complete opposite of Doug and Bill's run. If looking for more of like a unstable mental state of Mark, this is the book to check out. When a fantastic and trippy art throughout the entire thing, a story about loss and trying to find out who you are in more ways than one, and a mystery at every corner. This one is actually well worth checking out, and it's one of my favorite runs for Moon Knight, and it's the one that kind of made me a fan of him. And really, I only have one standalone story because there's not a lot of standalone stories for Moon Knight, but one that really sticks out for me is by Warren Ellis. Now, it's not my favorite Moon Knight book. I know a lot of people consider it the best. I don't, but it is a solid 6-issue, very small standalone story. And you can actually read individual issues in this run, and they're still holding up because they're telling a story within the issues. So that's kind of cool. Some you don't really get nowadays because usually everything is one big arc. About 4 to 6 issues tells one arc. This, you could just read 1 or 2 issues throughout. But it's really a great standalone because you can read these 6 issues and never read anything ever again. And that works out because maybe Moon Knight's not for you. This kind of has the multiple personalities in here. It has the violent tendencies of Moon Knight and also the suave of Moon Knight. And I'm not going to spoil that because again, it's to do with his personalities and it's great, but you do get some really cool moments in this very short 6-issue standalone story by Warren Ellis. Now, there are more that continue after this, but in this run, this is the only one written by Warren Ellis, so I'm counting this as a standalone that you can read by itself, and you could go pick it up right now. So, these are my choices. Now, you have 2 great runs, one really long one, over 30 issues, one about 14 issues, and then you can just read the standalone Warren Ellis and see if any of these gel with you to make you the Moon Knight fan that you should be, or maybe you just don't like the guy. I'll be honest, I like him, though I think he's a little overrated in the underground community. But, with the TV show coming out, people are just going to love this guy soon. So come on, check out some great comics, and then go watch the show because I'm sure it's going to be badass.